Well, the whole thing about it was there was just so much excitement about the town, and the place was just going absolutely mad for a couple of months there, and the whole build up to it and excitement. Uh, I mean, the only game I was at 5 of the 6 games. We missed the away game in Gothenburg because my sister decided to get married. We tried to get that postponed, but she wasn't having it, so I missed that game. But the rest of the games were fantastic. Like, no, even apart from the results, it was just the whole pride that the team brought to the city. I mean, even just driving around the town, this was just red and white everywhere. And even since then, the amount of young kids and all now, you see in the pitches, and there's as many Derry City tops as what there is United or Liverpool or Celtic or any of them teams. So I just think it was fantastic. Just the whole morale in the city, the whole town was buzzing. Everybody had their heads held high, and it was just a great time to be associated with the club.
What was it like to see a French team playing here in Brandywell?
It was great. Like, I mean, Paris are one of the all-time great European teams, and to see them coming here to take us on was just fantastic. No, it's a pity we didn't have a bigger stadium or a better stadium, but that's, and in a way it's sort of added to the whole atmosphere as well. And you could see their faces even coming out through the tunnel. It was like, where are we? But they knew they were in a game, and it was a very competitive game. And I mean, remember watching one of the interviews even before the game, and a reporter asked Stephen Kenny, says, no, obviously Paris will be favourites, and if they play well, they would win. And he says, well, they're going to have to play well because we're a good team and we're at home. And you could just see the confidence in the team throughout the whole match. I mean, they didn't look as if they were out of place, especially in the home game. They didn't look as if they were out of place. Potentially could have had a penalty. And that was just fantastic. Going away to Paris for the return game, I mean, 3,000 people went there genuinely thinking that we could have went through. And even though we didn't and we were out playing the night, just the fact that so many people travelled actually thinking that we had a chance was just phenomenal, and it's just something you never forget.
What was it like in the stadium during the start of the match, seeing the Derry City team coming out?
In the Paris game, it was like being left outside of yourself. It was unreal. Like, you go to these stadiums to watch Celtic or United and teams like that, and it's sort of day out. But like the boys coming on the pitch, all the local lads, and coming wearing the red and white shirts, and it just made you really, really proud and really delighted to be part of it. And the atmosphere was absolutely unreal. The whole match, the whole build up the match, the whole day under the Eiffel Tower, 300-a-side match and all, and it was just fantastic day out for everybody, and one that nobody will ever forget.
When it was all over in Paris and Derry lost, how did you feel?
Well, I felt disappointed we weren't going through, to be totally honest. Probably maybe I was one of the misery guts. I wanted it to keep going, and actually, I was so convinced we would score out there, and we never really got that many chances on the night. Paris were totally suffocated us and played very well, but then you'd expect that from a team like Paris Saint-Germain. But just the fact that we thought we actually could go through, I thought was brilliant. But I mean, at the end of the night, I mean, we were in the stadium for must have been 45 minutes or an hour after the match, still cheering the team, and like, you just sort of look at them nights and think, no, will we ever have any more nights like this? And we hope we do, but you have to make the most of them, and it's just a great, great, great night for everybody associated with Derry.
Summing up your European experience and whole.
Well, summing up the European experience, I mean, I think the night in Gretna or in Motherwell was probably, in a way, the Paris match was the sort of glamour tie, and that was the whole razzmatazz and got all the publicity. But the night in Motherwell Stadium against Gretna, I mean, they beat a team 5-1 was absolutely incredible. Especially going 1-0 behind early on, and we looked a wee bit shaky, and our keeper was making one or two random runs out of his box and all, and it didn't look the best. But I mean, the guy took me young fella to that game. That was his first game, and like, he was only 5 years old. Like, and for that being his first game, I mean, when he's 50, 60 years old, people will be asking him about the Gretna game, And I think the thing that done was, it kind of maybe washed away previous. Well, not washed them away, but when people talk about European football now, FK Lund won't be the first name anymore. There's a new generation for the town, and it's Gretna and Gothenburg and Paris, as opposed to all these stories from 50, 60 years ago. There's a whole new wave now of optimism about the town, and the overall emotion just from the run was just pride, excitement, enjoyment, and it's just great to be there.
Last question: what was the best goal at the Gretna match?
Probably the most important goal was Darren Kelly's to equalise, because we were under big pressure at the time. But I think I think Kevin Derry's free kick was absolutely unbelievable. It was fantastic, and like obviously where everybody was, there was 3,000 people right behind the nets where all them goals were scored, or four of them. And I was standing beside a friend of mine, Keith Kyle at the time, and he just kept looking at each other like, is this really happening? I mean, every time we came forward, we scored. No one, like, we were shouting at Kieran Martin to pass the ball for his goal. He just kept going around people and he kept shouting, pass the ball, pass the ball. He thought he was going to miss it. So every goal was fantastic, but I think quality-wise, Kevin's free kick was superb. Like, so, but every one of them are brilliant, but his free kick stood out for me.